Hey guys, so yes, I'm back. I'll talk a little bit more about why I've been MIA, why I haven't been on YouTube for a minute. I haven't even really been on my social medias just because sometimes I feel like I need a break away from like social media. Just in general, guys, sometimes you need to be like away from that stuff. You know, it's not good sometimes for your mental health and things like that. I was going through a lot, guys. Like I was getting like a lot of anxiety, just like something that happened to me that just going through a lot. Like I had a lot of emotions. So there was like one night, like my husband had went to El Salvador with his aunt and his grandma and stuff to help out. This was like literally in February 12th, around there, because my birthday was the 11th. We went out to dinner, and then the next day he was taking a flight to El Salvador. And I remember that night, it was a Sunday, and I'm there and I'm here, and I'm like, oh, I'm by myself. My husband just left, so let me just order seafood boil, right? Because I love seafood boil. And I'm like, man, let me order from Crafty Crab. Do I eat that? I'm chilling, relaxing, watching movies, whatever. Then I'm getting ready for bed. I pray, I do what I have to do. I go to sleep, guys. So here I am laying down. I'm literally having trouble sleeping. And next thing I know, I was like knocked out. Then I wake up. Because you know how sometimes when you're really, really tired, you kind of drool a little bit. Like you don't drool a lot, but you drool a little bit. I'm exhausted. I can kind of feel, and I'm like, oh, dang. So I kind of woke up thinking that I was like drooling, guys. But it was so much. I was like, this feels like my face feels wet and my pillow feels wet. I was panicking. So I get up, turn on the light. When I go to the bathroom, guys, I'm like, why is my mouth bleeding? Like I literally had my mouth full of blood. It wasn't even saliva. It was legit blood. I go to put my pit back to my bed, and I see the pillow is my white pillow is gushed like a big pile of blood, red blood like that. And I start panicking, and I'm like, oh my God, what is this blood coming from? So I'm panicking, right? I go in the bathroom and I start, washing my mouth. I do salt water, warm water with salt water. Nothing is taking the blood. It just keeps bleeding. And I'm like, oh my God, what is going on? I had just remembered that I had a tooth back here, like one of my wisdom tooth, like back here. I don't know if like one of my fillings or I have like a little hole in there. It hasn't bothered me, and out of nowhere I was like, oh my God. So when I look in the mirror, I look and I'm like, oh my God. So the tooth, literally the hole in the tooth, literally there's blood coming out of it, like literally blood clots coming out of the tooth. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm panicking. Oh my God, it's not gonna stop bleeding. So I'm like, Lord, help me, like what's going on, And all this, I'm literally getting anxious. It's pounding really fast. All these things was happening, right? I felt like I was gonna faint. So literally from like 3, I start calling like emergency dentists. With myself, I got paper towels, put it really tight, put it in my mouth, because they said put pressure on it, it should stop, because I was looking on Google and stuff like that. And it will stop and blah, blah, blah. And I was saying what could cause it. It could cause it like when your nerve is already out and exposed and it kind of just, it just starts bleeding or whatever. And I'm panicking and I'm like, oh my God. And I'm starting to shake. I feel like I'm about to pass out because I'm literally, it just non-stop bleeding. I will lay down and I could just feel the napkin, the big old gulp of napkin just get filled up with blood. And my mouth has blood again and I have to spit it out. I literally was doing this, guys, from 3 in the morning. I was calling like 24-hour like dentists in case emergencies. None of them picked up the phone. None of them answered. None of them. I was like, oh my God, what's going on? So I'm calling all these dentists, calling, and it's hours and hours and hours. Then it's like 10 o'clock. Then it's 11 o'clock in the morning. Like, oh my God, like finally somebody picks up. I'm like, yeah, this is happening to my tooth. They're like, oh, okay, yeah, it's probably just, the root is exposed and it starts to bleed, but just put some pressure on it. I said, we have the earliest appointment is like 12:30 or something. Like, oh my God, like I've been literally up since 3 in the morning bleeding through my mouth, like through that tooth. I've been legit bleeding since 3 a.m. It's literally like clogs of blood. It's not just, no, it's clogs, like pieces, chunks of blood coming out. Well, that's the only one we have. I'm like, okay, thank you. Yes, I'll have that. I'll take that appointment, and then I'll just keep looking around to see anything is more closer. I didn't know who to call. I literally didn't know. I mean, I hear my mother-in-law getting up and going to work. I didn't bother her. I just don't like to bother people. That's just how I am. And I know that's maybe something that maybe God was trying to work in me and to let me know that it's okay to ask for help and it's okay for someone else to help me besides me always helping others. But I've always been like that. I've never like burdened other people. I like to keep things to myself. I don't really tell people like when I'm struggling with something. I just always been, I don't know, I just always been like that. So I didn't tell no one. My husband's is literally in El Salvador. He's miles and miles away. He's like in another country. I didn't tell him anything. I kept it to myself. He didn't know nothing. The only person that came up to my mind was literally his aunt. Just like something told me, like it was like the spirit said, like Fatima. So I called her. I was like, oh my God, this is happening. I called dentists and nobody's answering. They don't have me, or they have appointments. I need to go. And she's like, okay, that's fine. I'm gonna go right now. I'm picking you up right now. I'll be here. I was like, okay. She's like, I'm gonna be there in 2.2. Guys, I promise you, this woman, I felt like this woman got here in 5 minutes. 5 minutes. I was like, oh my God. Okay, Jody, but relax, calm down, take a deep breath, breathe. And I literally, in all this, I feel like I'm gonna literally pass out. Like I feel like I'm gonna pass out because I feel weak. Like I was just like, I haven't ate, didn't drink water, nothing. It was just blood just coming out, and I felt so weak. Like I literally just wanted to pass out. Here she comes, right? She comes, and I go into the car, and she sees me. Then I'm like, I just literally took out a chunk of paper towel and put another chunk. And then not even like 2 minutes later, I told her, I need to spit it out. Like I need to take it out of my mouth. So she pulls over, I take it out of my mouth, and I put more. And then we finally get to, she said, Mom, I'm going to take you to the one, the appointment that you just made. I'm going to take you to this one that's closer, take you there. And they have a dentist and a hospital at the same time. I'm like, okay, fine. We get there. She takes me there. I'm like, okay, this is what happened. She basically talking for me because I couldn't talk. Every time I talk, like my blood was just dripping. I'm like, oh, this is so disgusting. Like, oh my God, my mouth tasted like metal, like blood. You know, that blood taste. It was horrible, guys. So I'm there. I'm nervous. I'm literally shaking. And in my mind I'm praying. I'm like, Lord, please, you know, I don't know what it is that you're trying to show me. I don't know what it is that you're trying to tell me, God, but I'm listening. Like I'm here, I'm listening, God, I'm listening. I'm sitting in the waiting room. They finally call me. I go to the bathroom. I'm signing in the papers, and then finally my aunt was like, my husband's aunt was like, we have to tell Ruben, because he had just called me, and I'm like, oh my God, he's calling me. She's like, I have to tell him. I'm like, yeah, go ahead. So she tells him, and he starts flipping out. And I go on the phone, and he's like, babe, what's going on? I'm like, I don't know, like my tooth, I don't know what's going on. It's just, I woke up since 3 in the morning and I'm bleeding. I have not stopped bleeding since 3. So mind you, it's 11:30, 12, and I'm at the hospital or the dentist. It's been like 8 hours that I literally have not stopped bleeding from that tooth. That's crazy to me. And he's like, no, I'm going to get in the next flight and I'm going to go back. I was like, no, you don't need to do that. I said, no, don't worry. Like your aunt is here with me. Everything's going to work out. Everything's going to be fine. We're just going to figure out like what happened, why. He's freaking out because my husband can't deal with certain things, and that's why I kind of don't tell him a lot of things, because I know that he can't kind of deal with it. It's easy for him to deal with like stressful situations and stuff like that, so I try not to like overwhelm him or whatever. And she's like, no, he has to know. He's like, no, why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you call me at 3 in the morning? I'm like, yeah, but I called Tia. Like, you know, that's the first thing that came to my mind was Tia, your aunt, and I just called her, and she was there in 2.2, and I'm so grateful. So she was there for me. She was like writing the paper for me. She was talking for me. Like she was literally like, she took over like if she was my mom. And I think that's one thing that I felt so special, was because, wow, I feel like I'm about to cry, because I felt like I didn't feel alone. Like I felt like she was there. Like it was so weird, so random. Like she just took over. Like she's telling the doctor, yeah, this is what's happening to her. She's like, no, Daddy, don't worry, I got it for you. You know, she's helping me. Like she's literally was there for me the whole time, and so caring. And I was just like, wow, like, you know, I don't have my mom here to do all those things for me. So I'm like, wow, like this is the closest thing right now that I have, you know. And she was there with me, talking to the doctor for me. Like she was so worried for me too. She's like, are you okay? Are you shaking? Do you feel like throwing up? I'm like, no, I just feel really weak. Like I just want to pass out. We're waiting. So I go to the bathroom before they called me. I'm like, I'm going to go to the bathroom and change my gauze in my mouth. She's like, okay, go. Está bien. So I go to the bathroom, and when I take the gauze, it's full of blood, like legit pitch red. And I'm still bleeding. I'm still like goggling water, and it's just coming out pure chunks of blood. Just chunks of blood. I'm like, oh my God, Lord, please take this away from me. God, I don't know what it is. Like, God, please, like, I'm sorry. Whatever it is, show me what it is you're trying to tell me. Everything you go through in life, there's always a reason why God does things. There's always a reason. Gargle water, spit this out. So pale. I was like, oh my God. His aunt was like, oh my God, I've never seen you like that. It was so weird, because she even said, she's like, Jadi, I've never seen you like that. You've always been very like, you know, uppity, smiling, and always really strong. I've never seen you like very like vulnerable. Like you look vulnerable right now. Like, and I'm like, yeah, like I was like, I'm so scared because I don't understand what's happening. And she's like, everything's gonna be okay, like don't worry. And I wasn't scared, meaning like if something happened to me, because I'm like, I believe in God, I trust God. I mean, I know God does things for a reason. But I was just like panicking because of the blood. Like when I don't know what something's happening in my body and what's going on, like I get very like anxious. I go back, and then end up instantly call me to the back. So I go to the back. I explain to the dentist what happened. He's like, okay, sit here. He looked in my mouth. She's like, we're gonna take your blood pressure. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. So when she walked out to get, I don't know what it was that she was doing in that chair, guys, I'm not gonna lie, like my tears just started running down my face. Like I don't like to cry in front of people. I don't know when I became like that, because I'm always an emotional person. Like I'm a very sensitive person, but I don't like to cry in front of people. And I remember she walked out and my tears just started coming out of my face. And I just like said, Lord, please, like, Lord, please do not forsake me. God, please do not forget about me. I don't know what's going on, but don't forsake me. Please stop the blood in the name of Jesus. I declare it in your name of your son to you, stop the blood, please, in the name of God. And then I was like, Lord, please listen to me, God, take it away, guys. I'm telling you guys that when you pray to God and you do it with all your heart, he listens to you like he truly does. I remember that I was like, God, please, like in Spanish I was like, Señor, por favor, you know, in the name of Jesus, por favor, Señor, en el nombre de Jesús, para la sangre, like stop the blood in the name of Jesus. I declare it, Lord, please. She comes, and mind you, I felt it in my mouth. I have blood in my mouth. I taste the blood. And when she was gonna open my mouth, I was like, oh God, she's gonna see all this blood and it's not gonna stop bleeding. No, she took out the gauze out of my mouth, literally took the gauze out of my mouth. And there was literally a pinch of blood, like on the dot, but the rest was all white. And when I looked, I was like, oh my God. In my mind, I'm like, thank you, Jesus. Like in the last moments, like God always hears you, man. He listens, man. Like don't ever doubt him for a second. Cause I was like, Lord, please. And she took that out. And she's like, and then she started looking inside my mouth, and she's like, bleeding where? Like, I don't understand. I'm like, I had to show her the picture because she looked at me like I was crazy. Like, what you mean you were bleeding? And when I showed her the picture of all that I took, all the paper and all that was, she was like, oh my God, that came from that. I'm like, yes. She's like, yeah, you have a little bit of inflame. Yeah, that's what it is. It's like a little hole you got here, and the root is now exposed. So that's why you probably ate something or something happened or whatever. You know, when your root is exposed, it's exposed. So if you hurt it, it's going to bleed. And I'm like, oh my God. So she's like, yeah, we're going to take some x-rays. So she took some x-rays or whatever. They gave me some antibiotics. I had to be on antibiotics for 10 days. And then that's when they found out when she took my blood pressure was off the roof. She was like, oh my God. Like they literally had to rush me to the hospital next door. And they're like, no, you need to tell a doctor to see her. Like, this is crazy. So they couldn't take my tooth out or extract my tooth because my blood pressure was so high. Then I went to the hospital next door, and when I went to the back, even the doctor's like, oh my God, your blood pressure is very high. Have you ever taken medication before? Do you take blood pressure medication? I was like, no, I don't take blood pressure medication. I don't ever take any prescriptions or nothing like that. She's like, oh wow, oh my God. But she's like, it's very high. I mean, it can be that you're anxious and that's why your blood pressure is high, but I just want to put you on a small dose of blood pressure just to see what really it is, because your blood pressure is too high. I was like, okay. So she put me on this 10 milligrams. Yeah, so 10 milligrams of blood pressure pills. So we started taking that. I had to get that prescription. So that was done. After that, his aunt took me to the stores. I had gotten Jello, applesauce, soup. I was just eating a lot of soft things and things like that. And I also had to take my blood pressure. When I get there, I realized I don't even have dental. And I'm just like, what in the world is going on? I'm here trying to call dentist appointments, and I don't even have dental. And I was like, wow. We went to the store, got everything. I ended up getting dental because I'm like, yeah, I want to add the plan of dental and vision and all that stuff. So I was doing everything. An appointment for my doctor, like primary doctor, but I had to move it closer because the doctor was like, you need to go to your primary doctor. You need to check why your blood pressure is so high. So I had to cancel that, and I ended up getting a different doctor. So the doctor that I got was a Spanish woman. I really love her a lot. She's such a good, I feel like God sent her to me. She was like an angel in disguise. I really have not gone to that. I hate going to the doctors. I hate it because I feel like if I go to doctors, I feel like they diagnose you wrong or they tell you something, then you get more stressed out than where you are. You get sicker than where you are. And that's bad because when I was younger, I used to love going to the doctors. I finally went to the doctor, and as soon as I go into the doctor's room, she's so sweet. She just starts talking to me. She starts talking to me about, it was just, I know it was God. Like, I knew it was God, and I knew God sent her for a reason, and I knew that the situation I was going through was for a reason and for a purpose. So she saw my birthmark, because if you guys all know my video, I always had like a little beauty birthmark here. And I've always had that since I was like probably 6 years old. And my uncle has one as well. And that's one of the things that I hated about myself. I was very insecure about that. Whatever. So she's like, yeah, we're gonna take that out. I'm gonna give you a referral to a dermatologist to get that checked out, whatever. But it was hurting me, and it was changing colors, and it did get a little bigger. Pictures and everything, as I'm telling you guys, I will show you pictures here of my birthmark and all that, and when I got it taken out, blah blah blah. So then I remember, I was like, what? Okay, so she's gonna take that. Okay, and then she's like, do you know when was your last period? When was your last menstrual? And I'm like, I don't remember. And all these things, she was asking me so many questions. So I'm here for my blood pressure. And then it ended up like her talking about my fertility. Have I ever been pregnant before? Irregular cycles. Have I ever been pregnant? Have I had a miscarriage? Anything? I'm like, no, never. Asked me how old I am. Are you trying to conceive? I'm like, yes, I've been trying for many, many years. Okay, so we're gonna get that done. We're gonna fix all of that. And I'm just like, okay. Like your blood pressure as well. I'm gonna give you a little dose. I don't want you to be on blood pressure for the rest of your life, but let's see first. I'm gonna give you a little small dose, and then we're gonna see if because I already had got some from the doctor that I had when I went to the emergency dentist. They had provided gave me some. They finished, and she had gave me more. And she's like, yeah, it hasn't gone down, it's still high. I'm gonna give you more dosage or whatever. Taking that, she got me to get a ultrasound, ovarian ultrasound, all that. They checked my uterus, they checked everything. I got blood work, all this stuff. So when I got back, I went to take all these tests. I was so anxious because I was always scared of the unknown, what's gonna happen, what they come up and tell me that I have. No, you're good, you're healthy, your blood pressure's still high. We're gonna keep you on the pills. We're gonna put it up a little, a notch. So I was still taking blood pressures, whatever. And I was weird because I had noticed that there will be times when I'm sitting down and I feel my heart pounding, like I could hear it just boom, 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 boom. So it was my heart has a really fast beat. Like my heart beats fast, very fast. So it accelerates. So I could be sitting down and my heart is just like, if it literally felt like if I had just finished running. It's so weird. And I always wonder why I felt that. So then I was like, okay. She's like, yeah, the blood pressure is gonna kind of slow it down. You need to slow your heart rate. Your heart is pounding too fast. I'm like, okay. So then I got blood work, got all that tests, everything that came back. When I went back to her to check, she was like, okay, your blood pressure's still up. We're gonna give you I'm gonna see if a couple more weeks on it, and I'm gonna see if it kind of adjusts and start going down. So keep track of your blood pressure. I'm like, okay, I sure will. There'll be times where it will come out 124 over 80, or so, it will be normal, and then there'll be times where it was just like 180 over 100, and I'm just like, oh my god, like what the. And that's when I would get panicked. But I got panicked and anxious just from literally taking my blood pressure. I'll start like my heart would be like boom, 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 boom. So I'm like, I have to learn to like relax, right? So I went and took my ultrasound. Everything was fine. The test came back. Went to my doctor. She was like, "Wow, your tests are really good. You're a very healthy 37-year-old. Like you're very healthy. We did find your iron very, very low. So she's like, I'm gonna prescribe you some iron pills. So I had to be on iron pills for a whole month. And it's weird because when I have low iron, I used to have that when I was younger. I always crave ice when I have low iron. It's so random. Like I know when I have low iron is because I want ice. I just want to eat ice. I was taking my iron pills for a month. Felt better after that. Then she was like, yeah, your test came back good. Your kidneys, your liver, all that is good. Everything is fine. Everything is perfect. Just your iron is low, and your heart and all that. Everything looks really, really good. I said, and then in the part like with my blood work for my uterus and all that, tests, and she's like, yeah, overall you're healthy. There's nothing in your ultrasound they saw abnormal. There's nothing like no what is it called? No cysts or anything in your ovaries. Everything looked very clear and clean. They got to see everything. If anything, you for your age, you have a lot of egg count or something. It's something that she said, egg count for your age. You have a lot majority of 37-year-old women, their count starts going down, but yours is actually pretty high. It's not like you can't conceive. So we have to understand. So she's like, we're gonna figure out what's going on. Then after that, I was just so happy. Like I literally started crying to her because I'm like, wow, like I didn't think that all these things would lead me to this, because there was so many years that I felt like I wasn't a woman enough, like, or that I wasn't worthy, or that I wasn't fully a woman because I haven't conceived or I haven't had a kid. And I've been married. I've been with my husband for 16 years, and we've been married for 9 years. And I'm just like, people always put you in this category of like, oh, you're married, one of the kids, when kids is something that you choose to have, something God brings to you, but is no one should be asking you when you're gonna have children, because it's not their business. It's very, to me, I find that very disrespectful. And all these years I thought it was something wrong with me or whatever, and no, like I'm healthy, I'm good. I did tell her about my menstrual. She's like, yeah, that's probably, she's like, don't worry, because I struggled with infertility, like legit struggled with infertility. And she was like, just like 9 months ago I gave birth to my first baby boy. And I was like, that's when my tears came down, because I was like, you know what, God, you work in mysterious ways, Lord. You always work in mysterious ways, and you always come through, and you brought me this angel to tell me and to help me with all these things to make sure that I'm okay, Lord. Like, you're amazing. And she's like, people may think that it's easy to get pregnant, but it's really not. Infertility is real. People struggle with having children, and sometimes it could be the smallest thing that's preventing you from having a child, but because people are afraid to go to the doctors because they think they're gonna get the worst news ever, they never check themselves, and then it does get bad. So she's like, no, so you're gonna go to the gynecologist. She's like, try to get on birth control. I'm like, I've never been on birth control in my life. She's like, well, this is gonna help you. It's gonna regulate your period, and then after your period, you get off of it, and you should be able to conceive. It shouldn't be no problem. She was like, the only thing, it was my periods, because my periods will last me for a long time. It will last me like 10 days. I'm bleeding. I will skip a whole month, and things like that. But she was like, yeah, what it is you're probably having your period you're bleeding for such a long time that is preventing your ovulation date. Is affecting your ovulation, so the eggs is not sticking because the blood flow is coming. So all these things, so we're regulating my period, taking like hormonal pills and things like that. So I'm so grateful, like all this stuff happening. At the end is when I started crying. I realized that God, I wasn't wanting to go to the doctors. My husband was like, babe, you need to go check yourself, babe, you need to go to the doctor. And I was like, no, whatever, I'm just gonna keep praying, guys. But sometimes what I learned from this was, guys, that no matter what, like God, there's nurses and doctors for a reason. God helps them. God gave them the knowledge to know these things because they help you. I'm not saying they can, half the time can cure you, because the rest God takes control of. But this is what they have knowledge for, to help you and take care of you and make sure that you're taking the right steps to get to where you need to get to. But it was like God showing me, okay, you don't want to go. I'm going to make you go. And I'm not mad at that. Like, I'm really not mad at that. I'm like, I thank God, like, he pushed me. That incident happened where he's pushing me to get, got on my doctor's appointment. I also got my dentist appointments that I gotta be coming up soon as well. I'm just so grateful. My birthmark is out. I got my birthmark out, which I'm so happy after so many years. That's something I always wanted to get taken out, because it's something that it made me feel very insecure, even though everyone's like, no one even notices now. Like, I don't have it, no one notices. I'm like, okay, might as well have left it on. But no, I did it for myself. And through all this, it was blessed. I just felt happy. I'm so thankful to God, because yes, I was scared, I was anxious. I'm on blood pressure now. They raised my blood pressure to be 25 milligrams, because the one that I had before, it wasn't good if you got pregnant on. But this one, she's like, if you get pregnant, this one will be still okay for you to take. The other one, I wouldn't be able to get pregnant and take that one. Glad she gave me the 25 milligram. And yeah, I've been taking my blood pressure, been doing good, working out, exercising, losing weight and things like that, and just hoping for the best and waiting for God's timing to do whatever. I'm doing my part as I'm supposed to, and the rest is God's timing. God knows why and why not. He knows when. He knows the perfect time where I'll be a mom. I'm not rushing it. I'm just waiting on God, and I'm glad that I'm happy, I'm healthy, and everything is good. And it's not because I'm not worthy, or because I'm not a woman, or because I'm just broken or whatever, but I'm just grateful. And I just learned through this whole process that God did it for a reason. He wanted me to get checked and make sure, just for my sanity, because guys, I will always second guess. I'm like, oh my God, I probably have ovarian cyst, or I probably have endometriosis, or I probably have this, or I probably all these things. And then God was like, no, stop diagnosing yourself. I'm gonna make sure you know that you're good. And he made that to happen. And I'm so grateful. It was a scary moment, but guys, I'm so grateful and so happy. That's why I've been gone, and then other things have happened, but I'm just so happy and grateful. I got to go to doctors. I've checked myself. Everything is good. I have like gynecologists to go to now, my dentist appointments to go to now, and deal with that stuff. The dentist is horrible. Oh my God. But anyways, we all have to go and things like that. We have to take care of ourselves, So yeah, I just wanted to give you guys an update of why. That's the reason why I haven't been on YouTube, and I really needed to be like resting. I couldn't really do anything. I couldn't like work out or anything like that, so I had to really relax. And then also when I had the surgery for my face, I couldn't lift anything, whatever, so I had to heal, and I'm still healing. I'm still in the process of taking care of my scar and all that stuff. So a lot of things has happened, but I'm so grateful for everything. I thank God for everything, the good and the bad. Even though it was a scary moment, I'm so blessed, truly blessed, because now I have something that I'm not worrying about so much, because I know that God's in control. So yeah, guys, I encourage you, if you feel afraid to go to the doctors or something is holding you back, don't go, just so you could prevent things and prevent certain situations, and he'll help you. God is always there for you. So yeah, guys, make sure to take care of yourself, check your health, always your blood pressure, all that, because nowadays we get sick easily, a lot of sicknesses, and people pass away from that. So just try to keep yourself healthy, drinking lots of water, taking your vitamins, and eating right, and just really take care of your body, because remember, our body is God's temple. It is God's temple. We should take care of it and be gentle to it, love it, and feed it correctly. So yeah, guys, I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. Hope to soon reach my 1,000 subscribers, and if I don't, that's okay. But yeah, overall, guys, that's my story. That's my little testimony on what happened, and I call it a testimony because it is a testimony. When things like that happen, you know that it's God's move. God is moving is a testimony, and you should always speak about it, because you could be helping somebody out. You don't know who else is going through the same thing that you are. So I'm truly blessed for my doctor. I'm so happy I have her for my health and everything. And I pray all the time for God to always heal me and protect me. And yeah, I have a lot of health issues on my family side and stuff like that, but I always rebuke any spirit of sickness and diseases in the name of Jesus, because we always have to do that. Just because people are sick, you have to rebuke it in the name of Jesus, because you want God to always bring health to your life. So yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Do not forget to like, comment, subscribe, and follow me on my own socials. And like I say, God bless you.